intro, huh? Shout out to wherever the hell I found that moving live. I don't even know what you call it, but it was sweet. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MaxBang. My name is Max, and I like to drink coffee. MaxBang is a 25 to 30 minute hang around chit chat, so grab a cup of coffee. And how's your mother? My mother's good. Thanks for asking. She's actually hanging out with my father because it was his birthday a couple of days ago. And I think they're off on a beach somewhere with my brother and my sister, just sitting on a beach, earning 20%. No, they're... happy birthday to my dad. But they are... Yeah, they're hanging out somewhere. I think I called them and they were like, yeah, we're just sitting around doing nothing. What's funny is my sister, my dad was telling me, my sister's like real gung-ho. They're on vacation, that's like, they took a couple of days off. So they're on vacation and my sister's like, all right, so we're here. Like, what do we do? Like, where are we going to go? Like, what's our plan for today? Like, are we going to go to the library? Are we going to go to the market? Are we going to like blah, blah, blah? And my dad was like, we're here. We're doing nothing. What are you looking at? Or what are you looking to do? We're doing it. It's fucking nothing. And that's the point. But it got me thinking about, there's a couple of different types of people, I think. And there's people, especially on vacation, there's people that like when they're on vacation, they want to go. They want to do stuff. And there's other people that went on their vacation, they want to just sit around and do nothing. I think I'm a mixture of both. I really like sitting around doing nothing. But I also feel like if I'm somewhere, typically if I'm on vacation, I think a lot of that, what goes along with that is travel. So you don't really vacation at home. That's a staycation. Maybe you go vacation in another part of your city or whatever, just like for kicks, or like you rent a nice hotel room for you and the lady, or you and the dog, or whatever. And then like, you walk around on the beach, you walk around the boardwalk, whatever. But typically when I vacation, I'm traveling. And so if I'm traveling somewhere I might never be back, I really want to like do to it. I remember a couple times actually in life, I've been traveling with people, and like our views on that were different, and then they didn't intersect. Obviously they sort of collided. And so I remember once when I was in Stockholm, Sweden, name drop, I was in Stockholm, Sweden with my friend, and we were sort of part of a bigger group. This is going to sound so... There's no other way to say this other than I'm super bragging. When I was a young warthog, when he was a young warthog. Got to work on that. When I was like 15 or 16, I made a traveling soccer team. Or I should say I made a soccer team, and the team decided to go to a tournament in Sweden. I wasn't even that good at soccer, but I was, I guess the team was pretty good. Anyway, it's irrelevant. Long story long, we're in fucking Sweden. And I'm there, and I'm with my buddy and the rest of the team, obviously. But, I was like a good friend of mine, and I was like, yo, we're in Sweden. Like, we don't have practice today. Like, let's go explore. Let's go do shit. Like, let's eat some weird food, or meet some weird girls, or I don't know, play some weird games, sports game. I don't even know like what the fuck's going on in Sweden, Stockholm. And my buddy was like, nah, I just want to like chill in the hotel room. And I remember this very vividly because I was like, come on, dude. I had like thought of every argument I could make. I was like, this is really good food. I know you like it. No. Okay, well, there's a bunch of like cool kids going to this place. That sounds like a fun spot. I know you like that. No. All right, well, there's a weird thing that happens only in this city, or there's a weird like amusement park. And I like amusement parks. Like, do you want to go to that? No. I'm like, all right, damn, dude. And so then eventually, like, I sort of, like, my last ditch argument was like, come on, man. How many times are you going to be in Stockholm? Like, let's go do something. Like, how many times are we going to be here? And he was like, probably a lot. And I remember just being like, you fucking dickhead. Like, that's such a, like, I remember even as like a little kid, I was like, that is the dumb shit thing to say. So, like, shut the fuck up. Like, maybe you're right. And maybe you're right. Maybe you go back to Stockholm, Sweden like 200 fucking times for some random reason. I don't know. But you know what? Like, you don't know. I know I don't know, but I know you don't know. So, like, shut the fuck up. So anyway, long story long, I went out and explored Stockholm, Sweden all by my lonesome, and it was awesome. And I highly recommend it. They have a cool amusement park. They have a bunch of cool like soccer fields where you can play. Everybody's hot, guys, girls. They all look like golds. So it was really fun. So I guess what I'm saying is when I travel, I do like to do shit. I remember a separate time, sort of on the opposite end of the coin. I was traveling with my friend where were we? I don't remember. Italy, I think. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I did. My buddy. These timelines are getting all messed up. I can't remember McAvoy or. Anyway, somehow I was traveling with my friend, and every day I'd be like, okay, so today we're gonna go to this museum, and then we're gonna go to this like park or whatever. And then tonight we're going to eat dinner, and then we're probably just going to get hammered. And then tomorrow we'll do this museum and this museum. I mean, these are like, you know, incredible world-renowned museums. You know, let's go see the statue of Michelangelo's David. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like let's go see the statue of Captain America in Brooklyn. Like, let's see some like real fucking shit. You know, let's go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Let's go see the fucking St. Peter's Cathedral or Basilica or whatever the hell it was called in Rome. Let's go like fuck around the Vatican, you know, like. And I remember she at one point said to me like, you know, it's funny when I'm alone, I wouldn't do this stuff. I wouldn't plan out the day. I wouldn't like think to go to a museum because I was in a different city. And it's funny that you, Max, think of those things. And I was like, damn, is it funny? Am I a weirdo? And I got like a little self-conscious about it. She was like, no, I'm glad we're doing it. Like, I appreciate it. Like, I wouldn't be doing this without you. And so and then if you get back from somewhere and they're like, oh, you went to Paris. Did you see the Eiffel Tower? And you're like, nah, I don't know. I figure I'll be back a couple times. I figure I'll be back there a lot. Then it's like, you didn't go see the fucking Eiffel Tower, dude? Like, I don't know. It's just such a weird thing. Anyway, if you're traveling, in my humble opinion, in the morning, get up early, get a cup of coffee and a banana. Go to a museum. Go see something cool. Go see a landmark or whatever. And then budget in time in the late afternoon and evening to eat dinner and just get fucked up, I guess. I don't know. Party. Do whatever you like to do in the evening. And I find the vacations just way, way, way more rewarding. So reward it. Anyway, my mom and dad are on vacation with my brother and my sister, and they're all sort of hanging around. And happy birthday to my dad. What did I get my dad? Great question. A phone call. You know, because I'm a piece of shit. I don't know. I never know what to get my parents and when to get them what. I have a good idea, actually, of what they don't like, because I know one of the things I really hate is like seeing all that shit like Father's Day deals, and then they show you the shit, and it's just so like ridiculous. You know, it's like a tie, obviously, or like a new hammer, or fucking like super strong coffee, or like shaving shit, and it's just like so. It's like the most minimal idea of what a man is, or a manly man, and they're just like, yeah, sure, slap it on, slap the Father's Day sticker on it, and I bet some poor schmucks will like not have any idea and get that for him. I always thought that was kind of stupid. But gift giving is very important to me and to my family and to my friends. Not necessarily like get an expensive gift, but like get a gift that it shows that you thought about the receiver for 10 minutes. I remember for Christmas every year, I have 25, 30, 40, 50 cousins, whatever the hell it is. We used to do a Secret Santa. And the Secret Santa is different from a white elephant. A Secret Santa is I pick a specific name out of a hat and I get the gift for that specific person. And then she gets someone for this guy, and then this guy gets someone for me. This guy gets a present for me. White elephant is we all just bring a $20 gift and throw it in the middle, and then I open one, and then the person after can steal mine or open another one, blah, blah, blah. For years, I railed against white elephant. I thought it was so stupid, so impersonal. I was like, the whole point is I get my cousin that I don't know anything about, really. We don't hang out. We're different ages. She lives in Massachusetts. I live in California. I'm 20 years older than she is, or vice versa, or whatever. So it's an exercise in like getting to know the person a little bit, enough to like, oh, they're into Pokemon. I guess I'll buy them a stuffed Pikachu or whatever. Like, I'm talking like minimal effort to, whoop, nip slip. Heads up, how you doing? Minimal effort to get to know the person. I always thought that was very important. And that's something I really like about whenever I give gifts to someone. I really sort of, not pride myself, but I like go through the exercise of trying to think about them a little bit. This past couple of years, we started doing white elephants because it was just too stupid in terms of logistics. And a lot of people, one thing we try to do with the Secret Santa is, I didn't want to, if I'm hanging out with all my cousins, I don't want to get my sister for the gift exchange because I'm already getting her shit for the gift exchange. And that's not that fun. I want to get somebody in another family. The problem with that is, on the other hand, there were sort of pods of like one family had like 5 kids, one family had 4 kids, another family had 4 kids. You know what I mean? It was just like a big clump and a big clump. So it wasn't really that I had 25 cousins. It wasn't really that I had 24 options. It was really that I had 22, and then this cousin had 20, and then, you know what I mean? So we started doing the white elephant for logistical reasons. And the other reason is a lot of people started bringing their spouses or girlfriends or whatever. Here's where the white elephant came in huge. And it was really, really, really cool. It was so incredibly inclusive. So like I didn't have to get a gift for my cousin's girlfriend, or, I mean, worse than that, my cousin's girlfriend didn't have to get a gift for some guy that she'd never met before. You know what I mean? And then to have to stand up in front of everybody and explain what gift you wanted or what gift you were going to steal and why, that really went a long way. The other tradition that we came up with sort of on the fly, and this is not one I'm really proud of, but I think it's hilarious, is we make every single person give a 30-second description of what's going on in their life, what happened in the past year, what they're excited about in the future, something like that. But the 30-second time limit is strictly enforced. And what happens is somebody gets up and they're like, 30 seconds, it feels like a long time when you start. But I got to tell you, you start talking, and then before you know it, you're done. And we have one of our cousins is just ruthless with the stopwatch. And so someone will get up and say like, hey, everybody, I'm Max. I still live in California. I live with my beautiful girlfriend, Brittany, and we have a cat. And this past year, we got a dog. That's actually kind of cool. Work is about the same. I still work. And then blah, blah, blah. And then eventually what happens is they go, oh, and I really am excited that I just started. And then someone would be like, time. And then that's it. You're not allowed to keep talking. You can ask after the game's over, but then it leaves you with a nice little cliffhanger. We gotta figure that one out. But that is a nice tradition that I've never heard anyone do before, and I made it up on the fly, and then we sort of ironed it out, or we made it up. But it was, come on, it was really me, and I really like it. I think it's really funny. It's a nice it's like a teaser, and if you're interested, you can ask follow-up questions, but it also puts people on the spot, but not for very long. There's a time limit, so they know That's what people are fearful of a lot of the times, is like speaking in front of public speaking in front of the public. Yeah, Jesus, Max. Drink more coffee, you fucking psycho. People fear of public speaking quite a bit. And so this, having a time limit sort of alleviates that feel. Highly recommend it. So those are my Thanksgiving, those are my Christmas traditions. In terms of the MaxBang tradition, we're getting back to one. And this is actually, let me make sure I get the comment right. Melissa. Shout out to Melissa for the comment, my favorite comment of last week. I need you to at least drink something. I have no idea, but I like it when you drink and explain what you're drinking. Maybe I'm weird. I love Max Bangs, but in my opinion, you need to drink. And I'd like a different drink every time. Coffee, boba, smoothies, tea, liquid, whatever. Whatevs, excuse me. Favorite comment of the week. So for the Max Bang tradition, and also part of this is we're trying to build a little Max Bang community here. But this week, I am drinking French press coffee, and I actually know it off the top of my head. This is Starbucks blonde roast French press, and it's in my very fancy Ember mug, which is my favorite mug because it is self-heating. I highly recommend the blonde roast for a couple of reasons. One, I think it tastes the best. Two, for the longest time, I thought that a darker roast meant more caffeine. And it does not. It does not have anything to do with that at all. Similar to beer, actually. I always thought like a darker beer meant like a stronger, manlier, way more alcoholic, whatever. But that's not what it means at all. It's just flavor. It's just taste. It's just whatever. So the lighter roasts sometimes have more caffeine or less caffeine, or the lightness, darkness of the roast has nothing to do with the caffeination. And that's something I really didn't know. And also accompanying that is here's a comment from last week. All I can say is I love you, man. Love you too, babe. I'm glad you're back with the Max Bangs. I'd love to have coffee with you someday. Maybe that'll be a thing. Who knows? That's a great idea. How will that happen? I am open to suggestion. I have a healthy fear of strangers, I think. I feel like I'm obviously in a very specific, unique situation. Unique New York. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. So I feel like I'm a little bit of not a good example about like how to deal with strangers, because a lot of times I feel very comfortable with strangers, and other times I feel fucking terrified out of my mind. I had a couple weird experiences with some of them. Obviously, being online, being a personality is a little bit of a different situation than the norm. I also have a really bad memory, so I don't remember people very well, which I know, and this is something I feel like such a shitty piece of shit about. I know it comes off as I'm an asshole. And to be fair, I kind of am an asshole. But a lot of times I've met someone and I'm like, I've spent a significant amount of time, like a couple hours, hanging out, doing whatever. And then I meet them again, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm Max. How's it going? And they're like, yeah, we met. We actually went ice skating together. And I'm like, interesting. And then I just feel like a piece of shit. So what I do now is I stopped introducing myself altogether until someone introduces himself to me. And this is so fucked up. I can't believe I'm telling you guys, but obviously we're in the trust tree. What I do is I say, nice to see ya to everyone. Nice to see you. Hey, nice to see you. How's it going? That's my opening line. And then if someone introduces themselves to me, I usually flip it on them. And they're like, hi, I'm Carl. I'm like, we met before? No, we haven't met before. I'm pretty sure we met before. And then hopefully they feel like a piece of shit, puts them on the defense, because otherwise I'm just reeling, and I just come across as such an asshole. Someone recently told me that, pointed that out to me, and was like, that you don't, people have introduced themselves to you like 10 times, you just completely forget them, right? And I was like, yeah, I know, I feel like an asshole for doing that, but that's what happens. And she was like, no, actually, it makes you seem super, I know it sounds awful, but it makes you seem super cool, and in a weird sort of evil way. It's endearing, or it makes people feel like, oh, I'm not cool enough for him to remember me. I need to be cooler. And I was like, God, that's even worse. Like, talk about, I thought I was just being a forgetful person and kind of a rude person, but like now I'm giving someone like a complex about it. Oh God, made me really want to just run off a short cliff. What I do is I do that thing where I try to like do a mental association. Like, I meet someone named Arthur. I'm like, Arthur the Aardvark, bang. And then I catch myself doing it, and I'm like, that's dumb, man. That's really dumb. Like, why are you doing that? And the answer is because as dumb as your mind makes the mnemonic device, whatever playful thing, like I meet a guy named Pedro, and you're like, hey, Pedro Martinez, my favorite Red Sox pitcher, bang. You know, the next time, like it's dumb until it actually works exactly the way it is supposed to. And I think here's why. I think you can map out, or you can sort of trace the way your brain works. Which is why people say when you lose something, you retrace your steps. And I know I've done this before, is like I hide things in a place where, like I do where my mind would normally go. I follow that path, because then when I forget where it is, and I'm like, okay, where would I hide it? Okay, that looks like a good spot. Boom, there it is. So I think it works that the easiest, or the first way your mind works, that's the way your mind would work in the future. So it's dumb. It's like a lot of things. It's dumb until it fucking works. You know what I mean? Almaz, great name, by the way. I felt that Gossip Girl reference. I've been binging during quarantine, and the new Razer flip phone is starting to call to me. LOL. First of all, shout out to Razer for having an awesome flip phone. Second of all, shout out to Gossip Girl for being an awesome show that I never in a million years would have imagined me liking. And I fucking love it. Love it. I watched it by myself the other day. I love, to be honest, my intro was the Netflix show You, which is starring Penn Badgley. He's a serial killer, and he kills his girlfriend. And spoilers, he kills a bunch of people while attempting to get his girlfriend, this girl, to fall in love with him. And I forget if he actually kills her or not. But I'm not spoiling anything. Maybe he kills her, maybe he doesn't. Who knows? It's a show about a serial killer, so you gotta expect a little bit of a murder. But what was funny was when we were watching it, Brittany's like, it's so funny watching this and having an idea of him from Gossip Girl, because on the show You, he's like this creepy serial killer guy. And on the show Gossip Girl, he's like a very sort of, I don't know, regular pseudo smarty pants, doesn't want to play into the popular crowd kid, high school, I think they were put in high school to appeal to a high school audience, but I think that it was clearly like college age kids. But anyway, he's just like a regular guy. And so to see them, she thought it was super weird. And so now I'm getting it the other way. Like I know him as this like duplicitous secret identity serial killer. And now he's like, he's just like the girl's boyfriend. He's nice and kind of puts his foot in his mouth sometimes, but that's it. So anyway, I love the show. I love those soapy ass dramas anyway. I really like all the characters, and I like all the guest characters that are coming up. So I've been watching a lot of Gossip Girl. What can I say? I love it. I love the teen-ish storylines. I think they're clearly supposed to be in college, and they just push it down. That's my insider theory. And I also just like the soap opera-y-ness of it. And I like shows that Friday Night Lights, it sort of jumps out of my brain. Like, it traps you a little bit, because it's like, what's up, bro? It's cool. It's about Texas football. And, it's the most soap opera-y show of all time. But I like sort of teen drama. I feel like that can appeal to everyone. Teens and up. Because, who hasn't had those insanely powerful emotions at that age? Like the heartbreak that, like, you can't get out of bed, or like the excitement that you're bouncing off the walls, or like the anger that you like punch a wall and break your arm. Sidebar, very important actually. And I only say this because so many of my friends did this, and I somehow I got out of it because I knew, or I avoided this because I know. So many of my friends, and let me know in the comments below if this has happened to you or anyone you know. So many of my friends got mad, punched a wall, and broke their hand. It's an incredibly common occurrence for teens or whatever. Here's why. One, if you punch a wall, you'll probably get drywall, but you also, it's very likely, maybe 40%, you'll get a stud. If you punch the drywall, you're fine. If you punch the stud, you're breaking your hand, because the stud's just fucking a big piece of wood or metal or whatever. Two, when you punch someone, and this is obviously going to be way easier for the visual people, your pointer and index finger knuckles are very, very strong. So if you punch someone and you hit with those two, you're good. Like your hand is fine, your bones are fine. The way your bone is set up, your arm is set up, it'll hit very hard and it'll be structurally sound. Your ring and pinky finger knuckles are very, very weak. And so if you punch something and you hit with those first, that almost always means your hand's going to break in something called a boxer's fracture. And what that means is the little bones on the pinky side of your back of your hand are going to, your front of your pinky side of your hand are the ones that are sort of fragile and they break very easily. Now, if you don't know how to throw, so I want you to, if you're watching this on a phone or computer, just be really careful and do it real slow, but throw a punch straight forward, and that's how naturally your ring or pointer and middle knuckles hit first. But if you sort of punch in like a hooking fashion, sort of like from your shoulder across your face, that's when you see that the pinky and ring knuckles are sort of, it's possible they'll hit first. So like if you hit a wall, or if like you don't know what you're doing, you slam something like that. It's incredibly common, and that's how you break your hand if you punch something. And emotionally charged teens punch shit so often that it's apparently a relatively common thing. So next time you're mad, don't punch a wall. Punch a pillow. Scream into a pillow. But if you're going to punch something, definitely try to punch with your front two knuckles rather than your pinky ring knuckles. Now, there were a million questions. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions about anything at all, drop them. I think we're going to drop these in the comments of the video. So I'll try to answer this video. I'll answer last video questions from the comments in the last video. So if I don't answer a question, write it again. Who cares? I think we'll end on this one because it's really sort of light and fluffy stuff, sort of just like a fun little whatever. How do you learn to trust and open up? Jeez Louise, guys, a real like heartbreaker question. Some light reading, you know what I mean? I remember I was on a beach once and I was reading this really sort of, I forget what it was called, but it was just like, it's so intense, politically charged book. Like it was called like American Imperialism, something like that. And some guy comes up and I'm talking to this guy. He's like, oh, some light reading. Think about that all the time. So how do you learn to trust and open up? I'm guessing this is after you've been burned really, really bad by an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, or you've been heartbroken, or you got your fucking heart ripped out or whatever. Which has happened to me a couple of times. Twice. Yeah. And it hits pretty hard, and it is overwhelming, and your feelings end up being horribly debilitating. And you're just fucking sad all the time. You want to puke. You don't want to do anything. You want to be numb. Or, you want to be numb, because numb is better than the endless agony of your existence. The only way I've ever heard it explained to me, which is in a way that was satisfying in any way, was your ability to form a relationship with someone, whether it's romantic or just really close platonic one or whatever. It shouldn't be in movies and TV and books and shit. Like, it's just like fireworks, and you're starstruck, or you're awestruck, or you stop in your tracks and you love at first sight, or like you meet and you're suddenly best friends, or join at the hip, and it's this explosive passion, fiery, whatever. And I think that that's probably true for some people, but I think that for a lot of other people, something that's not really publicized or romanticized or written about just for its own nature is that it shouldn't really be fireworks. It should feel like you're floating down a river in an easy tube, and before you know it, and it doesn't feel like you're going super fast, but before you know it, you've come an incredibly long way. Someone explained, that's the way someone explained it to me. And I always thought that was really cool, because it was something I hadn't really thought of, and it was something that I hadn't ever seen in movies or TV or whatever, because obviously it's not that exciting for a movie. But in life, that is really exciting, to just meet someone, feel totally at ease with them. You're not like a love-struck teen, like vomiting your emotion all over them, bukkakeing your emotion on them. You're just sort of, if you want to bring something up, you bring it up. If they ask you about something, you're not hiding it. You're happy to be intimate with them in that way. Like you can share whatever. But it's not explosive. It's just an easy feeling, and it's such a nice ease that you float down the river. And I love that metaphor, I guess. And if you've never done it, I highly recommend floating down a river in an inner tube. Bring some beers, or bring I don't know, champagne, Trulies, sparkling seltzer waters. All right, I think that'll be it for this week. Hopefully you guys had a great week. If you had, the other thing I want you to write down is if you had a victory from this past week that you really want to tell me about, I'd love to hear about it. Or if you have something that you're trying to do next week, I want to hear about those too. So let's just talk it out. And yeah, keep banging.